How does a 250-ton airplane vanish into thin air without a trace? In a world filled with satellites, radar systems, and real-time GPS tracking, how is it possible that an aircraft could disappear without anyone noticing? These questions don't just challenge aviation, they rattle our understanding of safety, technology, and reality itself. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 didn't just vanish. It rewrote the rules of what we thought was possible in modern aviation. This wasn't a high-risk mission or a dangerous war zone flight. It was an ordinary passenger plane flying a routine commercial route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. On board were 239 people: students, business travelers, children, parents. It was supposed to be a red-eye flight, quiet and uneventful. But somewhere over the sea, the silence became something darker. The plane never arrived, and the world has been searching for answers ever since. You're watching Crime Cipher, where we explore the world's darkest crimes, unsolved mysteries, and cases that still leave investigators baffled. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay with us, because the story of MH370 is one of the most chilling aviation mysteries in history, and it's far from over. Unscheduled turnaround. Flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:41 a.m. on March 8, 2014, with 239 people on board. The aircraft was a Boeing 777, a model known for its reliability and safety, and the weather that night was calm. Everything seemed normal. The aircraft reached cruising altitude and was handed over from Malaysian to Vietnamese air traffic control. But then, the unimaginable happened. Just 40 minutes into the flight, MH370 veered sharply off course. Instead of continuing its northbound path toward Beijing, it made a sudden left turn and began flying west across the Malay Peninsula. This wasn't a minor deviation. It was a total reversal, as if someone had deliberately taken control of the plane and redirected it. What's even more chilling is that the plane's transponder was turned off, cutting off its ability to communicate with civilian radar. The final communication from the cockpit was eerily calm. "Good night, Malaysian 370. There was no hint of distress, no indication of a problem, just those words. After that, the plane vanished from civilian tracking. What followed next was a flight path that raised more questions than answers. Tracked, then lost. Although civilian radar lost MH370 after its transponder was turned off, military radar in Malaysia continued to monitor its path for a while longer. The plane was seen flying over Penang Island before heading northwest into the Andaman Sea. The route it followed was strange and almost calculated, weaving through areas with limited radar coverage, as if someone knew exactly where to avoid detection. Eventually, even military radar lost sight of the aircraft. At that point, the only data left came from automated satellite pings, known as handshakes, between the plane and a satellite operated by Inmarsat. These hourly data bursts didn't provide the plane's exact location, but they revealed it had continued flying for almost 6 more hours. The final ping came at 8:19 a.m., indicating the plane had likely crashed deep in the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most remote places on Earth. What makes this more haunting is the total absence of a distress signal. No emergency call, no signs of mechanical failure. The aircraft didn't just vanish, it kept flying long after it should have stopped, silently cutting through the skies with no one able to intervene. It was as if H370 was a ghost in the sky. Ocean search begins. In the days that followed, a massive international search operation was launched. Countries including Malaysia, China, Australia, and the United States joined forces, using ships, aircraft, and satellites to scour thousands of miles of ocean. At first, the search focused on the South China Sea, but as new radar and satellite data emerged, attention shifted westward, then south into the vast Indian Ocean. The search became the most expensive and technologically advanced in aviation history, costing over $150 million. Crews battled harsh weather, unpredictable currents, and technical challenges as they scanned more than 120,000 square kilometers of ocean floor. Deep-sea submersibles and sonar-equipped vessels searched the seabed for wreckage. But time dragged on, and nothing was found. It was as if the plane had simply been erased from the earth. For the families of those on board, the prolonged search brought agony. Every day without an answer felt like another betrayal. Governments struggled to communicate updates clearly, and many accused Malaysian authorities of hiding or mismanaging critical information. Public trust began to crack, families still waiting. For the families of the 239 victims, the disappearance of MH370 was more than a tragedy. It was a slow, agonizing form of grief with no end. Many relatives refused to believe the plane had crashed until physical evidence surfaced. Even then, they were tormented by the lack of explanation. No definitive cause, no accountability, just pieces of a puzzle that never came together. Parents, spouses, and children gathered each year on March 8th, holding vigils, protests, and press conferences to demand renewed search efforts. One woman, Chung Liping, whose husband was on board, said in an interview, "We've spent 10 years trapped in this nightmare. What really happened? We still don't know." Lee Er-yu, who lost his son, said bluntly, "Governments promised us transparency. Instead, we learned everything from news leaks. We feel betrayed." Over time, some relatives turned into amateur investigators, analyzing satellite data, tide patterns, and leaked reports. Many believe crucial information was withheld, either out of embarrassment or for more sinister reasons. For these families, justice means more than compensation. It means truth, closure, and dignity for their lost loved ones. New hope in 2025. In early 2025, the Malaysian government finally announced a renewed search, partnering once again with U.S. company Ocean Infinity. This new search will use advanced underwater drones, AI-guided mapping systems, and autonomous vessels to cover a refined 15,000 square kilometer area in the southern Indian Ocean. The zone was identified through updated satellite drift modeling and represents one of the most likely crash sites based on all available data. This time, the agreement is structured around a no-fine, no-fee policy. Ocean Infinity will only be paid if they locate the wreckage. That incentive, combined with the latest technology, has given families a new reason to hope. Ocean Infinity's team believes that what was once unreachable can now be found, even if it takes months of round-the-clock searching. But not everyone is optimistic. Some fear the wreckage may be too badly degraded to reveal anything useful. Others worry that even if it is found, key components like the flight data recorder may be unreadable. Still, most agree, even one more piece of the puzzle is better than another decade of silence. Unsolved and Unforgiven. A 2018 report by the Malaysian government confirmed one chilling fact. MH370's deviation from its flight path was intentional. Someone in the cockpit manually redirected the plane, turned off communication systems, and continued flying for hours. But the report did not name who or why. That left the door open to every theory imaginable. One of the most widely debated theories involves the plane's captain, Zaharie Ahmad Shah. Some experts believe he may have committed a planned suicide mission. Others argue that the aircraft was hijacked and possibly remotely controlled. There are even claims the plane was carrying sensitive cargo or passengers, and its disappearance was orchestrated to prevent something bigger from leaking. Without the black boxes, none of these theories can be confirmed. And without confirmation, the speculation will never end. Each unanswered question deepens the mystery and deepens the pain for those still waiting. MH370 didn't just disappear. It became a symbol of how even in the age of satellites and data, truth can still be buried. The disappearance of MH370 isn't just an aviation mystery. It's a human tragedy that shattered hundreds of families and stunned the world. 10 years later, we still don't know what truly happened that night in the skies. A plane vanished, a signal went dark, and 239 souls were swallowed by silence. Thank you for watching Crime Cipher, where we dive deep into the darkest and most unsolved crimes from around the world. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more gripping investigations and hidden truths. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and never stop asking questions.